Hi there, I'm Shawna Robins, CEO and founder of Third Spark Health, and today I am doing an Authority magazine interview with Shelley Meche'tte. Shelley is a best-selling author and founder of the PowHERful Woman nonprofit. She champions personal and professional growth and appears on platforms such as CBS, NBC, ABC, and more. Shelley is a recognized leader in the personal transformation and empowerment world. Shelley, thank you so much for joining me today on my
Thank
PowHERful Woman
you.
series. Yeah, I'm
Thank you
so
for
happy to
having
have you.
me. I'm
It's
so excited.
wonderful. Yep. So tell me how you got started in your business.
Oh my goodness. I've always been one who has absolutely loved working with other people and loved working with women. But it wasn't until I ended up leaving my job in corporate and I became a stay-at-home mom. And I left my job to become a stay-at-home mom because I really thought that's where the fulfillment was going to come for me because I did want to be more available to my family. But what I found is myself in the bathroom, broken, emotionally, in a breakdown on the floor, you know, hands in head, not understanding who this woman was in the mirror. And I felt like I had been reduced, for lack of better word, to just being a mom. And that all of the things that I loved, all of the things that I enjoyed, my passion, my dreams, my desire, I had no idea. So my whole thought process was, do I have to give up me in order to be a mother? Can I not be a mom and be fulfilled, not be a mother and love, other things? And I took myself on a journey. I took myself on a journey of finding out who I was outside of any and every title. If you're not a mom, if you're not in corporate, if you take away every single title, who are you and what is your love? And it's through that journey that I began to find my voice again, find my confidence again, and discover another part of who I was so that I could become an and person and not an either or. And after that, I'm like, there has got to be another mama out here who is experiencing this same thing. And I wanted to be able to share simple and practical ways that we as mothers could stop sacrificing or believing that we needed to sacrifice everything about ourselves in order to have a thriving family and a thriving business or a thriving career. We didn't have to believe the hype anymore of either or. You can either be or you can be. No, we could be mothers and I wanted to get that out there.
Wow, I love that. I know where you were on the bathroom floor. I think
Yeah.
that I was in a similar place as well. So I definitely can relate to that. So tell me about your community. Tell me
Mhm.
about PowHERful, community that you
Yes.
built. I want to hear about this.
Yes, absolutely. That came out of a fluke, really. And it was so, I love the fact of being able to connect with women, but I actually had an organization for teens. And so the teens that I had an organization called Rooted for Life. And I was working with high school students, helping them prepare for college. But every time when I would go home, Shauna, I didn't feel fulfilled. I'm like, I'm doing this thing and I'm doing this great thing, but why do I not feel like it's my purpose? And I remember praying about that, and God explicitly said to me, you're doing the right thing before the wrong people. And I said, well, who am I supposed to be doing it for? And he simply said, who do you love? And I said, women. And
Mm.
it's like the light went off. In that very moment, without even thinking about it, I dropped everything. I organized a conference. I organized an opportunity for women to come together, for highly driven women, moms, mompreneurs to come together and for us to be able to balance all avenues of our lives and to do it with empowerment. And so I fell into it, and I fell into it because a friend of mine, she had something that said empower her. And I told her, I said, wow, I love the empower her. And I said, I think I'm going to take that from from you. And my organization is about empowerment. And I wanted it to be powerful. And that's where the powerful woman came from. So it really wasn't me sitting down, mapping out a plan or anything. It was me saying, this is who I love. This is where I want to be. And this is the community of women that I want. And so instead of looking for that community, I decided to build it.
Wow. What a resource. That's such an amazing resource. mean, when I was a stay-at-home mom with my 3 kids, if I had had a resource like that, I think that would have been just such a light at the end of the tunnel for me. Not that I,
Yes.
like you said, not that I didn't love staying at home and being a mom to my kids, but oh my goodness, now in my life, having,
Hmm.
these other things that fulfill me, and my kids are older too, right? So,
Yes.
to just be kind of left without this sense of
Hmm.
purpose or identity or
Right.
connection or community, all those things that you get when your kids are little, but
Yes.
then, they transition, they grow up, they move out, and then it's like, what do you do for
Where
yourself?
where
So
am I?
yeah, I
Exactly.
love that you offer this for women. I think that's really, really an important
Yeah.
thing. And I love that you talk about the either or, in
Hmm.
the fact that we live in this society that really, we feel kind of damned if we do, damned if we don't. Like,
Yes.
you choose to be a working mom, you feel terrible. You choose to be a stay-at-home mom,
Yes.
it's like we always find a way to beat ourselves up. So I
Right.
love the fact that you offer women a supportive community where they can just be who they are and be proud to be
Yes.
whatever choice, whatever decision that they've been able
Whichever
to make.
choice you make, whichever choice. And that's one of the things that I wanted to get across. No choice is the wrong choice. It's the choice that fits your life season and your family dynamic. So if that choice looks like being in corporate, that's wonderful. How do we maneuver that and work that so that you don't feel like you're sacrificing your family so that you can have a career? If that looks like us being a stay-at-home mom, how do we fulfill who we are as women, as people, and be able to give to our family so that both of us are thriving? If you work part time in corporate and you work part time in the home, as a stay at home parent, how do you still fulfill that part of you without feeling like I've sacrificed this or I've sacrificed my children? We can fulfill every aspect of that. It's just about us learning how to do it and us operating in the right schedule for it.
All right, so I love that. You kind of just took the answer right out of my next question, was like, as a powerful woman, what do you recommend
Hmm.
that women do, right, to reclaim or
Yeah.
reignite or, feel more powerful? So the first thing you touched on is not accept that either or, our
Yes.
society gives us. The second thing, is the mindset switch that you can
Hmm.
make. And then now you just touched on the scheduling. So can you just talk a little bit more and add to that of what else you would recommend?
Yes. And let me say, there is a quote by Katharine Hepburn. I say it all the time, but I say it because it truly changed my life. And I want every woman to experience it. And she said, as women, we can have it all. Women can have it all. We just can't have it all at the same time.
Mm.
And that was a key for me. And that made it go for me. Because what happens a lot of times is we're trying to live out a life season, a previous life season in our current one. And we become frustrated and we become overwhelmed and we become bitter and we become angry. We become all of these things because we're trying to fit what we did when we were a career, woman, and we're trying to fit that particular time frame and schedule into now when I am a career mom. A career mom. I have 2 children and a career. And so I'm trying to fit this exact same schedule, and it just can't be that. And one of the things that I always recommend to every client is to sit down and to say, what is it that you desire for your day to look like? And now what's stopping you from having that? And a lot of times I see that we're taking things from previous and saying, I used to work 10 hours a day. I used to spend this much time on my business. I used to be able to go for a run at 6 in the morning. So we're taking all of these things, and instead of being flexible with our current life season, we're forcing old habits and schedules and time management into seasons that it does not fit. Let's begin to flow with where we are by saying, where am I right now? Where would I like to be? And where's the flexibility and harmony so that I can merge these two worlds?
Okay, I love all the language that you're using. I love you using the word seasons in a way where you're describing a woman's life and the different
Yes.
parts of her life, right? I love that you're touching on flexibility. Sometimes I feel like flexibility is my downfall because I'm too considerate of other people's needs, and I'm not focused on myself. So I like the fact
Mm-hmm.
that you're touching on flexibility for yourself. You know,
Yes.
where can you still make time for yourself and
Y-
your business and your goals and the things
Yes.
that you know light you up and fill you up? So I really
Yes.
like all these language words that you're choosing.
Yes, because that's what it's about. In order to have that mind shift, we have to throw out some of the words that we're accustomed to using. And one of the biggest things, that we like to talk about is that time management. We like to talk about balancing. But when we think about balancing, a lot of times it comes with a negative connotation. Because if I'm trying to balance life, what is that saying about me? It's saying I'm out of control. It's saying I don't have balance. It's saying things are not the way I would like for them to be. I threw out the word balance a long time ago when I realized that there will never be an equal balance in my life, but there will be harmony. And harmony means how can I include certain activities in my day that still allows me to not exceed my 100% bandwidth. And that means me being flexible with my day to say, okay, I had 1 and 2 planned today, but unfortunately, the baby got ill, the dog threw up, I found out that there's no groceries. My flexibility says, now these things become my priority for today. And those other things, I add them in the pockets for the rest of my week.
Mm. Yeah, that's so good. I think about the buzzword, the old buzzword of work-life balance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how much
Mm-hmm.
that was put on women. The idea that we were supposed to always keep a balance between our work and our personal life, and how impossible that superwoman syndrome was and is on
Yes.
our health, on our wellness, on
Mm-hmm.
our sleep, on our
Mm-hmm.
mental health, on our relationships with others, and
Yes.
what a detriment it did to like a generation of women, like you said, that were told that they could have it all, but weren't
Mm-hmm.
told they couldn't have it all at the same time.
Right.
And so I really appreciate the fact that you have this leadership for women and that we're having this conversation right now, because I think this is really, really wonderful. What's the name? What's the title of your book and how can people find it?
Yes, my book is 70 Days of Happy. Life is Better When You Smile. And I found that to really be true. Life is always going to life, right? So it's always going to be something. It doesn't matter. But when we go into our day, into our circumstances, even into our hardships, understanding that life will be what life will be, but that doesn't mean that I have to allow it to strip me of my joy. I can cry, I can hurt, I can be devastated, but that doesn't mean that I have to be stripped of every inner part of me. I can still walk and be joyful or still find the smile within any and every circumstance that I'm in, even if I don't find it until tomorrow. At some point, I can still find that smile. And life is just better when we learn how to gravitate to that smile. So, yes, my book, 70 Days of Happy, Life is Better When You Smile, you can find that on Amazon, and you can also find that on my website, which is www.shelleymeche'tte.com.
And just if you look at the neuroscience around that, right? Of like how your brain actually gets happier when you do smile, right? You
Yes,
release all these neurochemicals just from smiling. And it's like,
yes,
so not only is it a mindset shift, but it's an internal shift of telling
yes.
yourself, this is what we're going to focus on today, right? But then
Mhm.
it's also the physical act of doing something, which then changes the neurobiology and the neurochemistry of the
Yes,
brain. So I like that you combine all of these things in a something that is so simple,
it's
such a
so
simple
simple.
practice, such a simple
It's
tool.
yes. Yes. And what I found to be interesting, I can't remember the number, but when I was doing my book, I found out that it takes, a certain amount of muscles to frown. And I can't remember how many it was, but it was less than half of whatever that number was, less than half to smile. And I just thought, wow, we use so much of ourselves to frown, to be angry, to do that, but we lift everything in us, and it takes such a less amount of muscles to just give a smile. And like you said, there's so much more to it. It uplifts our inside, our mind, our heart, our those around us. It's just such medicine.
Yeah, that's really powerful. Like I think about even just the political, environment that we're in right now in our country, and what a difference it would be if we just walked around and smiled at anyone, right?
Yes.
Grocery store, sidewalk,
Yes.
anyone. I mean, just how you could uplift
Hmm.
our society right now when everybody is full of tension and,
Yes.
polarity and all of
Hmm.
these other things that we have going on. There's just simple medicine that exists that we overlook. We look for something greater, and really it's just
Right.
those simple daily habits that make such a difference.
So true.
Yeah. So do you
So
have any other
true.
habits that you can give, being that you're a powerful woman and you empower other women, that I'm so interested to hear?
One of my habits, Shauna, is I take every night to watch sitcoms. I have a full day most of the time, and a lot of times there's a lot of exertion, and so on my emotional side, on the mental side, and I decided years ago that I would not go to bed with all of those things on me. I decided that I would wash the day off every single day. And when I started doing that, and I decided every day I'm going to go to bed and watch a sitcom. I watch Good Times, I watch Golden Girls, whatever it is, Living Single. I found that I was able to mentally just rest better
Mm.
because my mind was better. And that's one of the things, again, that I say to so many of my moms who are my client, who are going through their day feeling overwhelmed, feeling frustrated, feeling tension. I say, before you go to bed, what is that one thing that releases everything? For me, it's comedies. For you, it could be a cup of coffee. For someone else, it could be reading a chapter of a book. Release your day. Give yourself permission to release your day. I don't care what happened in your day. I don't care if you yelled at the mailman. I don't care if you burned up the dinner. I don't care if you missed your kid's performance. Give yourself permission at the end of the day to take your day off.
Mm. Such good advice. I really need to focus more on doing that, because like most women, I spend, sometimes in the evening thinking, oh, I could have done that better. And oh,
Yes.
I could have showed up here, and oh, I could have done a better,
Mm-hmm.
interview or writing or hit a deadline
Mm-hmm.
or should have done more. I
Right.
either
I
should
should
have
have
done
done
more
more.
or I should have done it better.
Right.
Right. That tends to be the language in my head. And I like that you're calling attention to that, because I feel like many women do this and we don't give ourselves credit for the things that we've accomplished. We don't count our
Exactly.
wins. And we just
Exactly.
don't let things go. And I know when I'm
Yes.
coaching women who can't sleep, that's one of the main things that wakes them up in the middle of the night. The head is either going
It's spinning,
about,
right?
it's spinning
And
about
your
what they
list,
need to
and you're going
do
through your
or what
whole
they
list
haven't
again.
done. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. We go to bed with everything. First, there's a whole checklist of what we were supposed to do today. Did we get those things done today? Why couldn't we get those things today? Now it's a checklist tomorrow. Now it's added to the checklist. Now, what is it? Oh, dang, I could have did this, but well, why did it? And before you know it, it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you haven't had any rest and you're supposed to be up at 6.
Right.
Versus you going to bed and saying, I did what I was able to do today. I give myself grace for that. And I give myself permission to wash off the day. Good night. And that is why I believe it's so important to go to bed with something that's going to release you, whatever that something is, and give yourself 15 to 30 minutes to the best of your ability, because usually that's about how much time it takes for you to really get it in your head that, oh, it's time to calm down. It's time to calm down. Now, let me release the relaxation. Let me release different endorphins. Let me release this so that now when I go to bed, it's not with a bunch of tension. I tell women that I work with to utilize what I call the leftover method. When we go to a restaurant and when we've had enough of our food, we don't get upset with ourselves for not being able to finish it. We wrap it up and we put it in the refrigerator. And when we bring it out the next day, it's more flavorful. We enjoy it more. We're not stuffed. Think of that with yourself too. When you reach your point, decide that, oh, I'm going to wrap up my activities for today. Because when you pull it out tomorrow, you're going to have better clarity. You're going to see that there's some mistakes that you would have made that now you're not going to make. You're going to be more calm. You're going to be able to see things better. and more clearly, because you were able to say, I've reached a bandwidth and now I'm going to wrap up these activities and put them away until I can look at them through a different lens.
Wow, Shelley, that's awesome. I absolutely love that. And I am totally going to use that. That's really, really
Wrap
great.
up those
Thank you.
leftovers.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. All right. So how can people connect with you on social media? Where can they find you?
Yes.
What's your your handle or your Instagram information or
Yes.
LinkedIn? Yeah.
Thank you so much for asking. We can connect on social media. I am on Instagram at my name, Shelley Meche'tte, where you can find tips and tools and things of that nature for your motherhood journey. We can connect on LinkedIn at my name and Facebook. And we can also connect in my Facebook group, which is Moms with Purpose. You are more than a mom. And if you would like to connect with a coffee chat, we can do that as well, where we'll get on and we'll talk about your day, how to align your day, and how to make it more purposeful for your current life season.
Wow. Shelley, I love it. Thank you so much. I'm definitely going to connect with you in your Facebook group. I think it sounds great. It's
Thank
definitely
you so much.
exactly what I need. So I'm looking forward to that. Thank you for meeting with me today.
Thank you. Bye bye.